IATEFL is insightful.
IATEFL is
Rewarding.
IATEFL is enjoyable and valuable.
IATEFL is generative.
IATEFL is diversification.
IATEFL is thought-provoking.
IATEFL is energizing.
IATEFL is accommodating.
IATEFL is enriching.
IATEFL is celebratory.
IATEFL is exciting.
IATEFL is diverse.
IATEFL is inspiring.
IATEFL is inclusive.
IATEFL is developmental.
IATEFL is networking.
IATEFL is a collaborative.
IATEFL is opportunities.
IATEFL is mind-blowing.
IATEFL is empowering.
IATEFL is professional.
IATEFL is amazing.
And IATEFL is back again with another live stream. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, good evening, of course, good afternoon here from where I'm broadcasting to you. I'm Sean, and this is another IATEFL live, and today we're going to be talking about IATEFL, which is what we usually do. But what we want to do today is actually look at how you become a member of IATEFL. We've been doing these live streams for a while now, and people keep asking us, because obviously people who come through these social media channels aren't necessarily a member already of IATEFL. So today we're going to be looking at how you become a member, what you get as your member benefits. We'll be talking, of course, to John, and also I'm really pleased to say that we've got Judith with us, the person who looks after the SIG representative, as we call her, on the board of trustees. Of course, if you've got any questions or comments, then do pop them into your social media box. They'll appear here in the studio, and we'll be able to get back to you. Before I bring in John, who I'm sure will remind you as well, I should also put on the alarms, put on the klaxons, and say you have just less than 26 hours to get your scholarship application in. If you do join us regularly, you'll know that the last live stream was all about the scholarships and how you can apply for those. So please go down your social media stream and have a look there. But you have got just less than 26 hours to apply for a scholarship for next year's conference in Brighton. Good luck if you have applied. Good luck if you're about to apply. Please don't leave it until the last minute. Get in there straight after this live stream. Get in there and have a look at it. Good evening, Mansur. How are you doing? John, is your application in? Are you there?
No, I was thinking, gosh, I've only got 26 hours to do.
You've only got 26 hours to get. Can you apply for a scholarship? Are we allowed to?
No, I'm afraid I can't. And I have to admit, I'm not even a member of IATEFL in my role. I'm not allowed to be.
No, you're not.
I was before I was doing this job, and I will be afterwards, but at the moment, I'm not.
Okay, so it doesn't stop you applying. Of course, you don't have to be a member to apply for a scholarship. You will, just to remind you, you will have to go to iatefl.org, create yourself a little profile on there, and then you'll be able to see the scholarships on offer. I said I'm not going to go through everything because we've talked about it at length in the last live stream, but I don't want you to miss the opportunity. Well, not you, John. I don't want the audience to miss the opportunity to apply for those scholarships. If you are a member, though, and remember we are going to be talking about membership today, then you have more opportunities because some scholarships are for members only. So do have a look. Go to iatefl.org, find the scholarship page. There are, if I remember, 20-something, he said randomly, scholarships, and you can apply for more than one. And I will remind you again at the end, but I believe you have 25 hours and 56 minutes to apply. Now, John will correct me if I am wrong.
You're doing well so far, absolutely.
So, John,
right. The most important thing is make sure you create an account and log in first. Otherwise, we won't know who you are. We don't want you to submit a proposal and be successful, and then we don't know who that was. So,
yeah,
log in first.
And I can't stress enough what I just said when we started. Don't leave it to the last minute. There are lots of things to read through, lots of things to do. So don't leave it to the last minute. Go to the scholarship page now. I'll find the link in a moment, and I'll put it up for you. Go and have a look, and because read through those key facts, and more importantly, take 20 minutes out and go and watch the video with Laura and Christian that we did a couple of weeks ago, who told you exactly how to apply and what should be in that application. Right, John, membership. You've just given me the shocking news that you're not a member of IATEFL.
Only because I'm not allowed to be.
I'm quickly checking myself to make sure that I still am.
Yes, I don't have to double check for you. But no, absolutely. Obviously, we are a membership association, and we're lucky enough to have thousands of members around the world, from all areas of the world and from all areas of the profession. And the thing that brings everybody together is their interest in English language teaching. Whether you're a teacher trainer, a student, whether you're a researcher, a manager, whether you're a materials writer, a publisher, it really doesn't matter. We're a community for everybody. And as Sean said, we do get quite a lot of people asking us a little bit more, because some people think of us and know us just for the conference, where of course you don't necessarily need to be a member to attend the conference, although it's worth your while financially. But as a member, there are lots more specific benefits which you can receive. But I think probably more than anything else, it just brings you into a global community. Our outgoing Vice President Gabo always refers to IATEFL as his professional family, and I think that's a really nice way of thinking of it.
Yeah, and I think I also think because we're also a charitable association, so we do a lot of what we do. We do almost for free, so that we fulfill that and show off ourselves to the language community at large. I mean, people will probably come across IATEFL things and might not realize there's so much more that can be gained by actually being a member of IATEFL. I mean, I think we will always do things that are free to members and non-members, but there is so much more to be gained by actually joining and taking a fuller part in that community, I would say. Where should we begin then, John? Do we want to look at the beginning?
Put up on here. So yeah, I think it was, if we actually just sort of look at tangibly, what do you get? What do I get for my money if I join IATEFL? Well, there are, as you can see, a range of things. We produce a membership magazine called Voices, which comes out every 2 months, and all of our members receive that. And actually, we have a peer-reviewed book publication called Conference Selection, which really is the sort of the selection of almost or most of the talks at our annual conference. And we've been doing those for many years. As I said, they're peer reviewed. But you get obviously discounts on IATEFL events. I think one of the key things I always think, which is not everybody realizes, is if you join IATEFL and attend the conference, that's cheaper, putting those two things together, than attending the conference as a non-member. So there's a clear win. But you get obviously discounts on other English language teaching publications, not just IATEFL ones, but from the whole sector. We do not just this podcast, but there are lots of online and face-to-face events throughout the year, organized by IATEFL. And John, you mentioned SIGs at the start when you mentioned Judith, and I thought not everybody's going to know what a SIG is. It took me a while. So obviously a special interest group, and we're going to learn a lot more about those in a bit. You also mentioned scholarship opportunities, and whilst anybody can apply for a scholarship opportunity, there are some of them which are just for members only. We have a rapidly growing online resource archive, which is searchable and comes from the entire history of IATEFL and all the events we've ever done, all the publications. So if you look,
it's a very dangerous place because you start searching it, you're going down all the articles, and there's just so much down there.
Absolutely. If you do want to perhaps have your first article published. If you've never had something published before, IATEFL's a great way into doing that. You'll get lots of support. Equally, if you've never spoken to your peers, then the IATEFL conference is a fantastic way to do that. You can only submit a proposal to speak at the conference if you're a member of IATEFL. And if it's your first time, there's lots and lots of support that you can sort of benefit from and to help talk you through that process. So there are lots of sort of tangible, specific benefits you get. But then I think probably the most important thing is how we started, which is just, I remember when I first started teaching, I was in a school. There weren't many other English language teachers. In fact, I was the only one. And it was my connection with my community, with other teachers. And it made me feel, oh gosh, it's not just me out there. There are lots of other people like me, and I could share my problems, my challenges, my ideas. And that really brought me together and made me feel supported.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm going to go the other way. When I first became a member of IATEFL, when you're filling in the membership form, and then I was like the benefit of the periodical discount. It was like, oh, yeah. I can get that. That was kind of like, for me, that was the first thing I went, oh, like that. And going back to what I said before, good morning, Ruben. How you doing? What I said before about the fact we do events where people can join for free, and you were talking about the archive. I think what's really important there is, like, if the event is for free, yeah, you can, as long as you can make it, you can join it along. But if you want the recording, or you want to get all the materials from that, or you want a certificate, all those things, they're the membership side of things. And as you said, there's such this massive library of webinars, of articles, of things. It's just huge because we've been doing webinars and everything for so long. So they're
wonderful
just some
resource if you're studying, if you're
absolutely
training to be a teacher. It's fantastic.
Well, as a teacher trainer, course writer, I often go into the archive just to remind myself of things like that. Hi, Basanta, how are you doing today? So there you go, John. A lot of different memberships there.
Now that looks confusing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let me quickly walk and talk through all of these options. The first one is our normal membership, individual membership of IATEFL, and that's for anybody who's working in English language teaching. And I say it's not just for teachers, it can be anybody in our profession. You'll find others just like you. However, there is reduced cost membership for students. If you're a full-time student studying TESOL or a related subject, applied linguistics, for example, then you qualify for a discount on your membership. The same thing if you are just starting out in your career, you've qualified and you're an early career teacher, then you can get discounted membership just to help you on your way, as it were. We have lots of people who have, lucky for them, stepped back and retired, but want to keep an involvement and a knowledge of what's happening in the sector, and that's where our retired membership route comes in. Just two more you'll be delighted to know. If you are a member of a teaching association in your own country, which is an IATEFL associate, then talk to them, because you can get cheaper, discounted membership of IATEFL as a benefit to being a member of that IATEFL associate.
And that's quite often overlooked, I think, that you join your teaching association in your country, but it does give you this access to a cheaper membership to IATEFL.
Absolutely. It's a great benefit of joining them, and that for me is a really important part of our larger community, because then if you bring together all of these IATEFL associate teaching associations around the world, that really brings our family to over 100,000 English language teaching professionals.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? So Basanta's just asked about institutional membership. So I reckon
this is exactly what I was going to mention. If it's not just you that's interested in being part of IATEFL and benefiting from membership, but there are several other members of your organization, your school, your college, your university, whatever it may be, then institutional membership may be for you. And there are 4 different bands depending on how many members of your organization want to benefit from those memberships. And that's a very flexible and cost-effective way of joining IATEFL, because I remember in my previous job, we had an institutional membership of IATEFL, and 4 members of my teaching team could benefit, but they didn't need to be the same people all the time. So one person could benefit 1 year and then it could rotate over to somebody else the following year. Or you could go to a larger membership and have all of your teaching staff benefit. So there's a lot of flexibility in that route, which you can talk to your line manager or talk to the decision maker within your institution about, and that can be a really good cost-effective way of not only you but your institution benefiting from membership.
So basically, I feel like an advertising slogan. There's a membership to suit you. Or something.
It's one for everybody, absolutely.
One for there and there. So I mean, we've kept her in the wings for a while, but we keep talking about special interest groups, and I think special interest groups. Obviously, we have all these benefits of being a member, but quite a lot of people would say perhaps one of the main benefits is being a member of a special interest group. So let's bring in the person responsible for overseeing those on the board of trustees. Hi, Judith. How you doing?
Hi, Sean. Hi, John. Nice to see you. And hi, everybody, wherever you are in the world. So
special interest groups.
Responsible sounds good. Can I just say a few words about myself?
Sorry, Judith. Let's forget people don't know who you are, please.
I'm a trustee, as Sean said, and the representative of the SIG. So I liaise between the SIG coordinators. We'll come back to that in a minute, and the board of trustees on general things affecting SIGs. I'm English. I am based in Germany, where I've lived for hundreds of years, it seems, a long, long time.
I feel I've known you for a big part of those hundreds of years.
I was just about to say, I think I joined IATEFL before either of you were born. But, well, perhaps. Anyway, I did join IATEFL in 1980, which is a very long time ago.
It is. I would have to say I wasn't a teenager then.
There you are, you see.
I'm keeping quiet now.
And for the very reason that John mentioned earlier, part of being a community, I wanted to become part of a community, a worldwide community, because I didn't know very many English teachers. I just knew a few. And so it made me feel that I was in touch with big names of the time. I had to read about, there was no internet then, so I don't know how we really communicated, can't imagine it. But anyway, I've worked my way through various things, teaching, teacher training, testing, test developing was a big part of my life, and being a university lecturer, which also correspond to various bits of SIGs, in fact. So one way of looking at membership of a SIG is the stage you're at in your career. You may move from children to businessmen. You may move from teacher training. A trainee.
Children to businessmen. That's how we met. I guess you would be teaching. You'd be testing. You were testing and evaluation coordinator.
I was, yes.
Yeah, when I was LT coordinator.
That's right. That's how we met.
Yeah, that's our first. But so people that don't know, kind of like Judith and I have kind of almost we're kind of almost like little twins that go through IATEFL together in our volunteering. We both became special interest group. We're going to say SIG from now on. Yeah, I think we've established that special interest group is SIG. So people are. So we both became SIG coordinators about the same time and kind of held those posts. And then positions opened up on the board of trustees roughly at the same time that we both managed to get chosen for. So and we both stepped down at roughly the same time. So I don't know what we'll do then. We'll have to find a way of keeping in touch. So special interest groups. You've mentioned children. That will be the YL SIG, presumably. You mentioned businessmen. That'll be this is an easy one. Business English SIG. Okay. That leaves us another 14 to identify.
Shall I help you with this?
Yes.
Go on then.
Yes.
There we go.
There you go. That is all 16. I think now I can get all 16 sort of off the top of my head. But one way of looking at which SIG you join is thinking about which stage in your career you're at. There are SIGs for teacher trainees. There are a SIG. There's a SIG for teachers who are developing themselves further professionally. And then there are the sort of more niche interests like pronunciation testing. There's the academic side, research, or the very global areas like global issues and inclusive practices. I think all cover everything.
So Judith's internet appears to be lagging a little bit. I'll just take her out of the stream while she lags, because I can see that she's stuck.
I think one of the nice things we're looking at this now, but they're sort of like Lego blocks. And one of the most important things about IATEFL membership is that you build your membership to reflect your personal areas of interest.
She's come back again, John.
Brilliant.
So put it. Yeah, sorry, Judith. You can hear me, I hope. We took you out because you were lagging, so you're stuck. Yeah. So we brought you back.
Well, I did say I live in Germany. German internet. Anyway, yeah, exactly as you said, John. I could hear you both perfectly. You customize your membership really. Each member gets one SIG sort of thrown in, as it were, but you can join.
So yeah, let's just clarify that for people, because we keep saying, because we know, of course, this assumption that one is thrown in or you could join it. So as part of when you become a member of IATEFL, as part of your initial membership fee, you can join one SIG. One SIG is one special interest group is considered to be part of your membership. For it that way. If you are a regular member of the first one on the list of John said, don't test me anymore. Go on, then, John. You put your hand up.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to add in just a technical point. That's true for all forms of membership, apart from institutions. They choose the SIGs that they wish to be part of, and the associate route. But all of the other individual membership routes, when you join or renew your membership, you get the choice. You choose whichever SIG you want to be part of for that coming year. That's included in the price, and then you can choose to have another or several more on top, but then you pay a small amount more for each one. And then each year you have the choice of adapting your membership. And as you say, Judith, your career interests, your professional interests may change over time.
Yeah. One thing I've mentioned several times in articles and in interviews is I see SIG members as often belonging to one of two groups. There are the so-called loyalists who stay in one SIG all their working life because that's their thing. And then there are others who change, either just to see what's going on in other parts of the profession, which is also very interesting, or because their careers change. So that's one way of looking at it. And there is really a SIG for everybody. And another thing about the SIG is being part of this global professional community. It's a nice way to start because it's smaller. IATEFL is so big, and sometimes the conference seems so overwhelming. But the SIG is like a little bit of a family, like your own nuclear family within your extended family.
Just get rid of the in-laws and just keep the.
That's right. Yeah. And so it's a way of enhancing your membership, as I think John said, but also just networking in a small group of like-minded people, where you've got something in common. It's a good way to get started on publishing, writing an article for a SIG publication or a blog post, or also in getting involved in presenting, starting off presenting. You're presenting to a group of like-minded people on a topic that you feel you know something about. And my experience with IATEFL, when I first presented many, many years ago, I was very, very, very nervous, and I was very impressed with how welcoming IATEFL was. And I've heard this from many other people as well, how welcoming the audiences are at the main conference and at other events.
So we've described Yelena, by the way. I can see your question. I will try and find someone to address it in a little while. Fatima, hi. I hope Coventry isn't as wet as Oxford, where I am at the moment. With joy, I understand why I would join a special interest group, for the reasons you said about the smaller family and the help and that. But what else do the special interest groups kind of give my membership? If we're talking about enhancing our membership, what else do they give me?
Well, each special interest group is really like a little sort of microcosmos of IATEFL, because they each have their own website. Each SIG has its own website, has its own Facebook group usually. Has its own publications, has its own webinars, its own events. On a smaller scale, SIGs are of varying sizes. Some are pretty big and can run lots of events. some of which are also for non-members. You don't always have to be a member of the SIG to join an event. So you've got another set of advantages, all the advantages of IATEFL that John mentioned earlier on. You've got them all again in your SIG or SIGs, just with a smaller group of people who are doing the same sort of thing as you. I think that's is that what you meant, Sean?
I guess so, because people don't. I guess sometimes I always feel that because we've been in IATEFL so long, we see it as it's easy for us to distinguish what the difference is between different things, and I'm not sure how much a non-member or somebody not familiar with IATEFL, they see the IATEFL brand, but don't realise that it might be different elements of IATEFL in play. We keep using this family analogy, but IATEFL is made up of many different parts. The only, I guess, the one joining thread is the love of English language in teaching, but so we've mentioned the associates, so that's that bit over there. We've got the main IATEFL, so the events like this which are organized and done. This live stream is coming out of IATEFL itself rather than a special interest group. Then there are the special interest groups, so there are all these elements, but we all carry the same brand. And I think people don't realize that being a member of IATEFL, I get all the things that John told me about before at the beginning, but then as a member of that special interest group, there's this whole other cachet of stuff that I get access to with it, which will include events in webinars, publications, podcasts, staff rooms if you're in some of the special interest groups, little the networking events. So I'm just trying to address the fact that when people see this IATEFL logo, as you see in the corner here, that there are so many components to it that are activated by your membership. So I guess that's the point I was making.
I think there are two other things about special interest groups and SIGs. One is that we talk about English language teaching, ELT, English language teaching, but there are many other aspects to English language teaching. You don't have to be a teacher.
No, exactly.
There are materials writers, there are publishers, there are test developers, as well as the people who are particularly interested in their own specialist area, as I mentioned, pronunciation. That's the one side of it, so that even if you're not actually teaching, not standing in front of a classroom for whatever reason, you're still a member of the IATEFL community, the IATEFL family. And the other thing is that it's also a wonderful way, and Sean touched on this, to get into volunteering for IATEFL. A SIG is the place where most volunteers, I would say, start. Most trustees and presidents start in a SIG. Am I right?
So you're racking your brain. You're going through the history now. It's definitely the case. It's definitely the case with me. It's kind of like I volunteered because I kind of was at a point in my career where I kind of done a lot of what I wanted to do with, and I was looking for a way of still being able to develop, and joining learning technologies committee at the time was that way forward. It became the volunteering aspect. Was not only a way of enhancing my career, it was giving me CPD in a different way from it. And I think there are so many volunteers. I mean, if I think English teachers are very good at giving up their time for things, or people, English professionals, not teachers, are very good at giving up their time for things, and actually getting involved in IATEFL through the volunteer route, I think is a great.
And I think with IATEFL being run by volunteers, it means everything is directly relevant to English language teaching professionals. It's run by members for members, and that makes it truly a sort of the global community.
Absolutely.
The only other thing which I wanted to add in there, you were talking about volunteering, and I think if I was speaking selfishly of my personal professional development, my CPD, then I think this is the other thing that IATEFL membership can bring. It's a great place to have your first article published, and you get lots of support with that, to make your first speech at a conference, to build your network of colleagues around the world, to attend lots of events, get the certificates, build up your CV, and then take your career forward. So speaking selfishly, it's not just about giving to the wider community, it's also helping to progress down your career path yourself, and IATEFL can help with that.
That's very true. I just think I just got a smile on my face because Georgia, who often presents, and we know from IATEFL Live as a presenter. I mean, I kind of like, she was a member, and then she volunteered. So because she was a member, she put herself forward to speak in a webinar, and from the webinar, she then that's how I met her in a sense. And so she joined my committee, became somebody that's now part of the IATEFL online furniture in a very good way. And I actually, in a very different way, I actually met somebody at a conference with somebody we interviewed in IATEFL online, Fufu, I think she was called. And she was actually a conference steward. And she met the family through the conference steward and then became a member and presented at this year's conference. So it's just funny how these people kind of start and come into IATEFL in so many different ways. So,
and there's another one I'd like to mention as well, because it relates to what you said at the beginning.
Oh, she's gonna keep us in suspense with that story.
Germany, John. What's going on in Germany?
I don't know. I reckon there's a storm somewhere that's getting in the way.
There's a storm here. It's just incredibly hot. The glass fibers melted. Probably.
That might be your
show. Go on and tell us your story, Judith.
It's not a story. It relates to it's another route. Getting into volunteering is through a scholarship. We have a lot of volunteers, top volunteers, if you like, key volunteers who started as scholarship winners. So
25 hours, 29 minutes.
I was just about to say that, I was trying to work it out.
My brain was, I was going to mention scholarship. And you can see, just looking at some of the chat in here, we've got we've got the UK, you've got Santiago, you've got Chile, you've got Nepal, you've got Bangladesh. Even just a little chat on one of these live streams shows you what a global community stroke family we are. Judith, we've got a couple of minutes left then. So what else? Is there anything you haven't told me about SIGs that you should tell me about SIGs?
Oh, well, there are many, many, many things. I could talk about SIGs for another few hours, actually.
Okay, all right. So we'll see you all later and leave you in the hands of Judith. Judith, you've got 60 seconds to summarise.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Oh, is that it? That's the summary.
SIGs are great. SIGs are awesome.
So, if we want to find out about special interest groups, you always, like anything, it's IATEFL.org, and you'll click on the special interest groups, you'll find them there. John showed everybody the slide with the bricks, right? The build your membership metaphor, which I think works beautifully, and you can find out more about the SIGs from their own websites. They usually will get back in touch if you have any messages and stuff for them. John, how do you become a member of IATEFL?
Oh, it's very complicated. No, it's not really, I promise you. Let me quickly share a screen and we can walk through that. Now, what's going on here?
I got there you go. It's already on the screen. That's why. There you go.
Taking control of my screen, haven't you?
Sorry, yes, my fault.
Okay, first things first with IATEFL, and this is a fact which is so important, whether you're a member of IATEFL or not. If you want to do anything with IATEFL, attend an event, view a publication, apply for a scholarship, the starting point is to go to the IATEFL website, IATEFL.org, and click on that button called Login. If you've created an account, which is completely free to do, then you just log in at that point. If you haven't created an account, then when you click on that button, you've got the option to create a new account, and it'll just ask you some very short questions. The most important one is obviously your name and email address, but also where you are in the world, because then, for example, if you're applying for scholarships, it'll show you which scholarships are open to you. So once you've done that and you've created your account, then on the top left, instead of saying login, it'll say my dashboard, and you can go to your dashboard at any time. It's really the place where you can do anything. When we start accepting bookings for the conference, you do it through your dashboard. You can see here on this particular dashboard, it's where also you apply for a scholarship, and it's also where you can join IATEFL. You click to join IATEFL. It will ask you which kind of membership you would like, whether it's the full membership, the student membership, the early career teacher. For those two, we do ask a little bit more clarification or proof that you are a student, for example. So you fill in the form, you join the association, and then you're in. That's it. And you will suddenly have access in my resources to the archive of all the things that we do. And whenever you want to apply for an event or do anything, you just log in first on the website, and then we know who you are and you can take it forward from there. In the meantime, if you're not a member of IATEFL, but you're considering joining and just want to keep up to date with what we're doing, then you can go to the far right of the website to the menu called Get Involved, and right at the bottom you'll see it says not a member but want to keep to find out what's happening, and you can just put in your name and email address and we'll send you a regular email just saying what's happening within the association, what events are going on and so forth. And that's a good way to get a feel for what we're really like before you go ahead and join. But obviously the most benefit you'll get in terms of taking your career forward is joining. That's the starting point.
Thank you very much, John. That's very clear. I'm sure somebody will go, sorry, what? But very, very clear. Right, so that's hopefully answered the questions that the comments people have come fed back to us about IATEFL, what membership of IATEFL entails, what you get for being a member of IATEFL. Hopefully that will clarify all those things for you. As ever, if you're watching the recording, you're probably getting a bit late to get that scholarship in, so make sure you watch the recording before 4 o'clock on the 21st. If you're watching after 4 o'clock on the 21st, scholarship deadline's closed, I'm sorry. But if you are watching the recording and you do have questions other than scholarship questions about being a member, then drop them into the relevant social media comment box. We always watch the comment boxes for a good 24 hours after a live event in case there are any questions for it.
I can see there was a particular message from Yelena, and Yelena, if I can say to you, if you can actually email head office with your specific inquiry, then we can come back to you on that one. Well, I won't necessarily want to talk about individual members' circumstances here, but we're here to support you. Just email membership@iatefl.org and we can take it from there.
Perfect. So hopefully, as I said, that's clarified everything for you. You have 25 hours and 23 minutes now. I've got a little countdown going, John, to get your scholarship deadline in. So your next port of call, as soon as you stop watching this live stream, is to go to iatefl.org, find the scholarship page, go and see what you need to do, and get that application. Spend the next few hours looking through that application. Then tomorrow, use the evening to sketch out how you're going to apply. Then tomorrow morning, first thing, get that application in. Don't leave it until just before the deadline. A, because there's a lot to fill in and a lot of boxes to click, etc. And B, it gets very busy by the deadline. People always leave it to the last minute. And we would hate you to miss out because there was a lot of traffic going to the site. Yelena, I'm glad you got the advice. Head office will deal with the email when you get there. I'm going to say thank you to Judith, who gave us a really good insight into special interest groups. Thanks, as always, to John, the non-member, but the chief, the chief executive of IATEFL, and someone who does with his team does a marvelous job of running the association for us. And we'll see you again in another live stream soon. And keep your eyes and ears posted on social media, because we're going to be making an announcement very shortly about a very exciting event, which will begin the new the new European academic school year, I say. So watch your social media channels for an up and coming.
I should do a little drum roll at that point.
Yeah, IATEFL news. I reckon we'll be announcing it within the next week or so. So keep your eyes peeled on social media, and then exciting. And then we'll be back to tell you all about it at a date sometime soon. For now, have a good rest of the day. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon on another IATEFL Live.